Hi everybody, this is Renee from Reflections Art Studio and Community Classroom. During this time of isolation, I thought I would offer some free lessons to help people express themselves. And I teach people art techniques so that they can express their life stories and deal with their thoughts and feelings, help problem solve, set goals, remember things, release them and forget them. And I often hear excuses as to why people don't take time for themselves. And so I thought today, instead of demonstrating some techniques, I would go over some typical things that I've heard and give some advice. And the whole goal of this is to develop a creative habit. So the first excuse that I often hear is, I have no talent. I can't draw myself out of a paper bag. I can't draw anything. I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler. And those are just excuses. If you can draw letters and numbers, if you can write letters and numbers, you are drawing. And all those are symbols representing sounds and numbers. And so you have to quit telling yourself that you can't, because as soon as you say that, you're giving yourself permission to fail. Also, the reason why you think you have no talent is because you are comparing yourself to other people. Other people who have already developed a daily habit or a regular habit of practicing. You have to practice, and it takes like hundreds of tries before you finally get to find your style and what you really like. Things don't have to always be pretty or beautiful or realistic to be art. The important part is, how do you feel when you are doing it? It's the process. And when you're finished, yes, you might be excited about what it looks like. You might be disappointed, but how did you feel when you were making it? That's our goal here. The goal is to try, express yourself, figure out what you like, what you don't like, make mistakes, learn from them, and move on. So you have no talent, you say, well, what are you going to do about it? I've heard so many people waste time. They're saying, oh, I wish I could paint like that. Well, what good is it to wish? Wishing is you're just sitting there doing nothing. So get out some supplies and start trying. Look at some other people's art, see if you can try to mimic it. Practice, practice, practice. Go buy a book, download a book online. There's all kinds. Take a look at what other people are doing. Try to see if you can do that. Take a little bit of it. Doesn't mean you have to copy the whole thing, but maybe there's something you like about it. Maybe it's the colors, maybe it's the lines, maybe it's the subject matter. Well, then try that. We don't have time for wishing. You can wish your life away and you still have never ever picked up some kind of art supply to express yourself. Plus, if you have the desire to create, God would not be so cruel as to give you the desire without the ability. It's in there. You don't have to be born with it. But you are born with the desire. You have to ask yourself, why do you want to create? Do you want to create to make money? Or do you want to create just because you want to do something for yourself? Well, if that's the case, then forget about trying to do perfect things and make it realistic. Do what you want. Who cares? You're not a camera. Anything you create is better than anything you don't create. And the whole reason why you don't have satisfaction is because you want validation. You want other people to say, yes, I like that. Oh, you're such an artist. It's so good. And you compare yourself to other people. Well, what good is that? Some of the most famous, successful artists are people who said, I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. I'm going to create my own thing. So instead of comparing yourself to others, look at their art for inspiration and say to yourself, oh, I love that color. Oh, I like that yellow against that orange. I'm going to try that. Oh, I don't like that. So use that for your inspiration. Do what makes you happy. Lots of things that I do, my husband say, oh, that's not my style. But not everybody wants to have photographs of horses and cowboys. Sometimes I like to do it, but I'm not going to do it all the time just because that's what he likes. I want to do what I like. It's not selfish either by saying that. It's just standing up for myself, meeting my needs. Another argument is, I have no time. Really? You have no time? How much time do you spend watching TV? How much time do you spend on the internet? So, if you want, instead of wishing that you were creative, make time. Set the timer for 20 minutes at the most best time of day for you. When I worked full-time in the school district, I would set time after supper. 20 minutes was my goal. Maybe in the morning is better for you when you got things on your mind and you need to work it out. Maybe later at night just before bed. But pick a time that works for your sanity. I also did things like joining online groups where the goal was every day you were supposed to create, for example, February faces. Every day you were supposed to create a face and then post it, and it kept you accountable. Or if you love watching TV so much, you can always draw at the same time. Draw what you see on the screen. Write what you're thinking about what the character has done. Most of the time, when people watch TV, they're not even really paying attention. They're like in their head. Another thing is, I'm too lazy. The reason why people feel they're too lazy to create art is because it's work. If you don't have it, you need to designate a special space where you can just leave your things out. Because if you have to drag your things out every time and then put it away at the end of your, for example, 20 minutes, it's going to become too much work. And when things are out of sight and out of mind, then it's also going to give you another excuse that you just kind of forget about it. So here are some things you could do. Put a leaf in your dining room table and claim one end. Who is going to come visit you right now during the isolation? No one. So make some space for yourself. Who cares if it's on the dining room table? Most of us don't even eat in the dining room anyways. I grabbed a corner of my dining room when I didn't have my studio. I put a desk in front of the window. I got some shelving, and all my stuff was in reach because I used to always have things under the bed, in the closet, in drawers, in a different room. Well, that became such a chore that I didn't even bother for years to create. Another option is get an old suitcase. One that's about the size of your lap. Fill it with the supplies that you think you're going to need. Then when it's time to, and have it close by, wherever you like to sit the most, take out your supplies, close the lid, put your suitcase on your lap, and you have an instant desk. All right, another excuse, money. It's expensive to buy art supplies. Even in the times of, you have money for coffee, you have money for cigarettes, You have money for your nails, you have money for your eyebrows, you have money for your hair, you have money to go out, you have money for all kinds of things, and yet you say you don't have any money. It's too expensive for art. Well, use what you have around the house. Look around the house. What do you have in your drawers that you can use? Look in the closets, in your kids' bedrooms. They always have stuff. In fact, you'll probably find like 20 pencils that they hoarded from school that you could use. No excuses. Use pencil crayons, Crayolas, finger paint, wax crayons, whatever. But don't give excuses. You can use any kinds of paper. And once you get into the daily habit, you might find that, hey, yes, you're going to treat yourself. Once a month, I'm going to go and buy myself or order online. There's all kinds of art supply stores. I'm going to order myself some nice high quality paper. Or one month it's going to be, I'm going to get myself one nice brush. Or today, this time I'm going to get myself really nice paint. Don't have to go out and go get it all at one time. All right, another thing that I want to challenge you to do is go on an artist date. That means you take yourself once a week somewhere by yourself to look at the world through an artist's eyes. So you might be, just go outside, take your camera with you, your phone, and take photographs of things that you know, lines that are interesting into you, textures, shapes, colors, things that are outside. Take photographs. There's some inspiration. People always say, I have no ideas. I don't know what to do. Well, look around you. There's always things to do, to see. Use all your senses. Touch things, smell them, feel them. Not the same as touch. Listen. Just sit and do nothing and just take it all in. You'll be surprised what comes to you when you have quiet and just nature. On your date, you might decide that you want to learn about an artist you admire. Watch, research them, look them up. There's all kinds of information on the internet. They have websites. Watch how-to videos. But set some time aside for you to do it. When the isolation is over, visit a museum and the art galleries. Every Thursday, Mesnat Esplanade is free. Go there. Go to a park and draw. Go to a cafe. Inspire Cafe. Maureen Newton loves when people come there and draw. Join some groups on Facebook. Doesn't mean you have to put your stuff online if you're not comfortable doing it. But look at what other people are doing and take ideas. Don't compare and say, oh, I could do better than that. Because if you're doing nothing, you're not doing better than that. Go with yourself to a movie. Or in this case, close the door and watch a movie by yourself. Choose a movie that you want to watch and feel it, cry. We sometimes hold back our emotions over other people. Well, really experience the movie by yourself. Make art time special. So some things that I do is I turn on my music. I plug in my water fountain so I can hear the water trickling. Some people like to light a candle. Include breathing. If you like yoga, do some yoga before you start. Or take a break while you're doing it. If you're getting stuck, do some yoga. Dance. That helps you loosen up. Sing, meditate, breathe. Use a special pen. Use some special paper. Give yourself permission. So set a mantra for yourself. It might be, today I'm going to release. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not gonna listen to the negative self-talk. I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, use what colors I want, not worry about anybody else. Just let go. Let go could be another one. Allow. Allow yourself to have fun. Allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to enjoy. Enjoy is another one. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to say yes. So when I'm doing this, if I say to myself, I wonder if I should, say yes. So my point is, in all of this, is quit wishing that you were an artist and just be an artist. Just do it. Support local artists, buy their art. Look at it for inspiration. Take their art classes. It is not expensive. What is expensive is you being all depressed and thinking that you want to do something, but you can't because your mind tells you you can't. No excuses. Remember, don't judge. If somebody is brave enough to share something, acknowledge that you've seen it, that's impacted you somehow. Oh, this makes me happy looking at your colors. Oh, I love how your lines move across the page. Oh, you'd put in a lot of details. Oh, you were really brave for sharing. One thing that I did is I made a blog. Only had 32 followers, but who cares? It was my way of telling stories, using my photography, my art, show a journey. This is where I started. This is where I am now. Open up a Word document. Start typing. Insert your art as an illustration. Use photographs. Just be creative. Have some joy in your life. Well, all of the lessons up to now are pretty fundamental, real basic kind of things, beginning level. And there's always more to learn. Taking one class is not, one for 3 hours is not going to be enough. I used to take classes in the city just so that I would give myself some time to create. I knew a lot of art techniques. How many art classes can you take? But it did allow me to be surrounded by other people who are very interested in art and who are supportive, and gave myself some dedicated time each week to create. And if I needed some help, there was always somebody there. And when I first started taking art classes, I'd look around and see how much better everybody was because, well, they've taken a gazillion art classes and made time. After a while, I got over myself and said, well, you know what? If I keep at it, I can be just as good. But what is good anyway? When I went to the Arizona in February, we went to the art expo, and there were all kinds of styles. The very realist, impressionism, and there was some art that you just look at it and you say, oh, that's nice. Good for that person. And then other times you look at art and you're like, oh, this art makes me happy. And isn't that the purpose? You look at it, it makes you happy. or you create and it makes you happy. So, while you're sitting in isolation, I heard a good question. What have you learned about yourself during this time? If you haven't learned anything about yourself in all the time that you've had, now is the time. What can you learn about this? Give yourself permission to feel sad, happy, upset, grateful, whatever you feel like feeling. But no more excuses. Oh, I can't do it because I'm in isolation. Really? Oh, I can't do it, I'm too busy. Really? I don't believe it. Anyways, thanks for hearing my rant. Hopefully you learned something from it. Hopefully you'll remember some of my words. My goal is to help people live a happy, healthy, creative life. I hope I've done that. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, be creative. Bye for now.